Well, we'll start early today. See if we can get everybody to understand that they need to come to the meeting on time. So I'll just go through slow introduction. But I know everybody here. Well, there's a couple that I haven't seen before. So for anybody who's new, I'm Thomas Garrison, and I'm the host of this here meeting. And I've been developing websites and applying SEO for about 25 years. Here with my co-host, Arthur Moorhead, who has also been doing this for just about 20 years. So if anybody needs any help with consulting, mentoring, applying something, or building a site for that matter, any portion thereof, get in touch with us and we will reach out and get together. Kevin has a question already. Question about who I am or who you are?
Who we all are. No, sent you a private message. I just wanted you to know it was there.
My stuff isn't here. It is interesting that my chat doesn't have a chat. That's pretty cool. Okay, so how do I change that? Give me my chat back. There we go. I might. I actually did that with one or two people recently, and I may do that. Kind of going to go slow into this because a lot of it is finding out what people are doing or what they're used to. Because according to Google, they've changed pretty much everything. We've got 18 people in here now, and I'm expecting probably at least 10 more. So won't be surprised. There may be some marketing people in here, so I'm going to take that into consideration too. Basically, whatever you've known about SEO in the last 10, 12 years, you're just going to have to throw 90%, 95% of it out the window. So, John, you can take this to your group that they don't know what they're doing anymore, and you do. Let me ask, who's done a search recently for just looking for information they didn't know? They thought, I need to know something about blah, blah. Hands raised, anything, anybody? I got one person. You can use the hand icon down in the reaction button, but I'm trying to get an idea. Okay, so Cheryl has, and Carrie and Atuan, okay, Robert. So most of you have, and if anybody didn't hear that question, the question was, who's done a search for something just looking for information? Anybody else? I have, I do all the time, most daily. So if that's all we're looking for is just the fact that you have done a search recently, because it's going to have a big bearing on how I'm going to provide some information for you today. So you can put your hands down now. And my next question is, how many of those who did search for that information, who had to go to multiple sites before they got the information they were looking for? I always do. Robert, yep. And Antoine, yep. Pretty much everybody who did a search recently found that you've also got to search and go through several sites until you find one that actually has the information you're looking for. True or false? Okay. That's the huge thing that Google is making different. Because Google knows that people are doing their searches. They log every search that's ever done. And so they have come to the realization that people are not finding what they want from the top SERPs. So no matter what you search, you've got these people who are at the top of the searches, and you're going, well, they should know what I'm, because I asked this question, they're at the top. This site should be able to answer my question. So you click on the link and you go there. Less than 5 seconds, you're just going, I don't want to hear about how good you are. I want the answer to my information. So you leave that page. Let's stop there for a second. For those who don't know, Google is watching. So when somebody comes to your site through a search and they leave quickly, that goes into Google's radar, especially if they click on another one of the search results where they found yours in the first place, and they go to that site. They probably don't find it. I didn't. I went through several, and you guys probably have done the same thing. You go to several of those links, and you find one that goes, yeah, it's giving me some. That's what Google has changed. These people are going to go away. So if there's anybody who is in a good position in the search engines, do not be surprised if you get shoved back. The why is because people are coming to your page that they found through the search engines, and you're not giving them what they wanted. You're not getting it. You know darn good and well that the people who are in the top of the search engines got that one, and that one sucked. I left there in less than 3 seconds or 5 seconds. There's another one. You could go to 4 or 5 of them. Google is trying to make that change. So instead of all the technical aspects of SEO today, Google's looking for text. They want pages that provide the information very explicitly. So if you're saying, I want to find out something about licorice, and you go to Google and you say, what is licorice? You could probably go through 30 different sites to say, here's a recipe for licorice, here's another recipe for a licorice, and here's hard licorice. And wait, none of that answered my question. I want my question answered. Off the top of my head, Arthur. The information that you're getting from those searches, and it depends on your search because it depends on what you type in, how explicit you are. Sometimes the more explicit you are, you're still finding that's not it. But if I found that none of these sites that I said, what is licorice? And I didn't find a one of them that says, licorice is a combination of, and they tell you what's in it, they tell you how it's made, that kind of thing. Oh, so that's licorice. And they talk about, you might want red licorice, or you might want black licorice. That's all in a one page, one topic, licorice. What is licorice? That's called the stage 1 awareness. You're looking for awareness about that product. Now, if I went to a page that was giving me a recipe for it, or talking about hard licorice, and I'm going to bounce from that one. If you bounce from that site, Google's looking at that and it's going to push you back because that site didn't have the information that you were looking for. So it's obvious to Google that page is garbage for that particular search result. Might be good for something else, but not good for this particular search term. So you're back to, I don't have to worry about having all the title tags and the meta tags. Yes and no. That's kind of where regular SEO, typical SEO is today. Make sure you do have it so it defines the page. But now you're not trying to hire somebody for thousands upon thousands of dollars to do proper SEO, quote unquote, because Google's not really worried about how well the SEO is on the page. They want to see how well did you address the 3 stages of the buyer's journey. And for those who aren't sure what those are, the 3 stages are awareness, which is what I really just described for the licorice. You want information, You're going to go to a page that tells you about that object or thing or product or service. Because you're looking for information, you don't want to hear about how expert they are. You don't want to hear about they can give you this great price today. You just want the information. What is this product or service about? That's completing the awareness stage. The second stage is consideration. And the third stage is purchase. In the consideration stage, if you go back to the licorice example, I mentioned that there is black licorice and red licorice and hard licorice on the page. And maybe you decide, okay, you're going to go to the consideration page, which is defining a bit more specifically red versus black licorice. So you're going to make a decision between whether you want red or black licorice. You make a decision from the second stage, which is the consideration. And once you have considered, red or black, I think I'm going to try the red. Now you go to stage 3, which is the purchase page. So you must follow that awareness, consideration, purchase. They're 3 distinct pages. They're not going to be combined in any way, shape, or form. So when you think about, you mean I got to write more new pages? Well, guess what's around today? AI. And I want to make this clear. If you use AI, do not use 100% of what is spit out by AI. Google will know that and go, you had the page written by AI, so you didn't get any points for that. It might have described the licorice, but it's done by AI. So you take that article, whatever you decided that you're going to write, and whatever stage it's written for, and you're going to edit that article so that it sounds more like a conversational text article, more of you coming out of it. But the opposite would be if you just decided, I don't need AI, I'm going to do it on myself because I know everything about my business. Don't do that. Everybody who's got a business, everybody who's got a website specifically, knows their business well. Business, service, sales, whatever it is. You're the worst person to write articles because you're so close to it. You're going to go, well, I just need to tell them this. No, you don't. You need to get out of your head. You're not going to write just what you think they need to know. You need to write what the visitor wants. How do you know what the visitor wants? Well, that's why you have the awareness stage, the consideration stage, and the purchase stage. Because the awareness, they need the information. They don't want it combined with anything else. And then they need the consideration so that you can compare a couple of things, be a bit more specific. And then the purchase page is also going to have its own content. But that's where they've got the credit card in hand and ready to buy. Now, I know that there are a lot of people who have services and they have just stage 1 and stage 2. The same holds true, you just don't have a stage 3. On stage 2, you're giving them a call to action. What do you want them to do? Usually it's call for a quote or call for whatever it is, because you can't buy that in the site. It's just a service or it's whatever it is, a product that can't be actually purchased through the website. So you get them to call. Maybe you're just providing a service like landscaping. Well, you could buy a little bit of landscaping, but people usually want to talk to the person. Licorice, they can sure buy that online, or if you've got shoes or any kind of tangible product. But if you want people to call you in order for you to talk to them, that's another situation that you have to be aware of and make sure that you know you can close. So what this is all about, what SEO has moved to, is it's all about, can you close the sale? Because you're selling. We all do. We go, hey, I'm going to go find some information about this thing. Now I'm in consideration stage. Now that I have that information, I want to know more specifics. So you've got that. Before you get to the purchase stage, you need, I want the information. I want to consider a couple of different products or services related. But you don't want to see anything about buy now. We got 30% off. That's on the purchase page. If you do it on the awareness page, Google and the people are going to leave. And Google's going to say, no, no, no. If you do it on the consideration page, same thing. So the easy part is that you just need these 3 stages about each of the products. So let's say you've got 5 different products in your website. Pick one product. That one product has 3 pages: the awareness, consideration, purchase. Got your second product. So it's, oh, I have 5 products. That's 15 pages. If you have pages in your site now that get some traffic, you don't need to delete them or change them or alter them in any way. You're going to add these new pages. You don't care what page Google finds of your site that deserves a top 10 position in the search engine. You could care less what page it is. So create these pages and make sure that they are done correctly. Use AI. It's free. You can go to ChatGPT or Bard or whoever, whichever suits your fancy. And you might ask questions a couple of different ways so you can read the information, read the article that it spits out, which it will do in 2 to 3 seconds. So when you ask it to write an article, it does it. Bam, done. And then you edit that. When you've edited the article and it sounds like it sounds like a conversational text, take that article, put it in your site. Then it gets down to, okay, well, yes, have a heading tag in there so you can say this is what this page is about. That's where your H1 would go. As far as keyword terms, where did you search to find out this is what I need to write about? That's probably the most difficult thing in the whole SEO process today, making sure you targeted the right keyword phrase. You should also understand that Google is not that concerned about keywords. It still goes back to the article itself. How well was the article written? So instead of being all this technical information that you guys need to know, understand, how to apply it, it's now down to, I just need to write these articles so that they grab people. That's it. You're addressing the 3 stages of the buyer's journey with articles, text. So you do your job right with those. Yes, now you start getting noticed by Google. So you don't have to go out and hire somebody to figure out how to do the SEO and then be taken to the cleaners because they didn't do what they were supposed to do. You still need some SEO in your pages, but gone are the days of all the technical stuff that we used to have to do. It has to be, the keywords need to be in there this many times. The keywords need to be this. You know, it's been a lot. So now I think that you're going to find it may be taking you some time to wrap your head around this because you're going, wait, that is completely different than everything that we've had shoved down our throats for the last several years. And I'm telling you, you're absolutely right. And there's another part of this. There are a lot of marketing people and agencies who are frustrated with this because there are a lot of things that they do offsite SEO that no longer are going to be of value. according to Google, because Google is saying these pages for the buyer's journey need to be written. So if you're simply driving traffic to this site, that's Google will say, so what's the bounce rate for that traffic? And you have to look at your analytics to see that. So if you've got 3,000 people a day coming to your site, woohoo, I got 3,000 unique visits a day. 2 of them spent more than 20 seconds on the page. The rest of them were under 10 seconds. Google's really going to be unhappy with that because you've got all this traffic coming. Where did that traffic come from? Well, I had a marketing campaign going with this company, and oh, well, they obviously weren't interested in what they found. So apparently those links, backlinks, marketing, whatever it was, that was not the information they were trying to find. They got told that here's a link and it's going to take them to what they want. They get there and they go, it's not at all what I want. So you need to take that out of consideration too, the fact that you want all these backlinks and marketing people. If you can get high authority backlinks, that's one thing. But I wouldn't worry about that starting out. Just keep your focus on the 3 stages of the buyer's journey and make the pages for that and write them well. And as much as I know about my business, I'm not going to write it again. I've written some stuff, and based on what I know that Google's looking for, you got to go to AI, edit those things, and really look at the article that it wrote well. And just scan through the whole thing. Maybe you have to do it several times, but that's easier than trying to come up with how to write it yourself. And you can edit that and say, well, this doesn't quite sound right. So you make some minor changes. Even if you rewrote the whole thing completely, as long as it follows what Google's looking for, that's fine. But you have to remember that that AI is pulling information out of a gigantic database. So there could be a lot of information that you are not thinking about. Maybe I should add that. Donald doesn't like my statement right there. The thing that people need to understand is that even the AIs, with all the information that they've got, could be a couple of years old. So it's to your best interest to make sure that you go through and edit each one of the articles that it writes. So, Donald, did you have a question or a statement you'd like to make?
Yeah, I'm a retired librarian, and the library conferences I go to, even the experts are saying if when Google is you do a Google search, the information that it has access to is less than 5% of the information that's available in the world. And there's plenty of information behind firewalls that Google, Bing, Yahoo, you name the search engine, does not have access to.
I don't disagree. And
so
yet
most of the information on the web is written at the 7th and 8th grade level.
Well, that's true. And you know why?
Simple and easy to understand.
Well, that's true too. But we live in this drive-through mentality today.
Oh, unfortunately, yeah.
And test after test since back in 2000 have proven that people on the internet dumb themselves down to about an 8th grade level. And that's where we are. It's like, yeah. I don't do it. You want to know what? I'll bet I do too.
Yeah.
Because I want some basic information real quick on that page, or I'm bouncing. And if I don't find it fast, I start, it's almost like I've got this internal clock, this internal timer. And I want to find that in less than 10 seconds because I want out of here if you're not going to give it to me.
Oh, I agree with you there. Plus, AI does not develop the ability to discern disinformation and misinformation from accuracy.
That's true.
Whatever it runs into. If it's pulling bad information in.
I can attest to that because another one of my passions is health and nutrition, and has been for about 50 years. And I gone in and I had it write an article about a certain part of health and nutrition, and I was reading it, I'm going, this is absolute garbage.
Oh, yeah.
Because AI is only going to provide you what's in its database. So if the people who put that information in there are wrong or misinformed, if you would like it to be, then that's what the AI is going to spit out. And when it comes to health and nutrition, I can guarantee you that a lot of people writing this information, they don't know what they're talking about. They're like, oh, I just read it on some site over here and then I put it in the database. You idiot. You got to really do the research when it comes to certain subjects. And like Maury is saying in chat, garbage in, garbage out.
Garbage out. Yeah.
So yes, you're right. It may only be a small amount of information that's out there, but they still have huge databases of information. Imagine if they did, they would need
it's redundant
entire building with servers, but they don't have that kind of access.
Yeah.
So you do get what you get. In general, it's going to spit out some pretty good stuff for whatever that you have as far as a subject. But you do have to read those articles to make sure it does not have misinformation about your particular subject. And then make sure that you write that article so that it sounds like somebody would be talking to another person. So it's conversational text. You can't just grab whatever AI spits out and blindly throw it in your site and say, I'm going to get to the top of the search engine. That's not going to happen either.
Oh, agreed. And the other thing is I've been following this a little bit, and it's in the background, hasn't made big waves, but AP is going after ChatGPT because they said, we'll give you our data, but people can't use this to write news articles. We don't want the competition. It's not what we're giving you that information for, and people are using it for. So now AP is considering, say, going to ChatGPT, say, pull all our data off, and anybody who's used it, tell them to remove. And New York Times saying, you're pulling information off of our site. You don't have right to do that for what you're doing. And New York Times is actually preparing a lawsuit. And if these lawsuits go through, AI is dead. Will be shut down for not dead, but AI will be required to change the way it operates.
How is it?
And that's going to change a lot.
How is it that public information is not attainable? How can AP restrict public information?
They're not restricting it. They have access to it. What they gave ChatGPT permission to do was use their information to train. They did not give it permission to have a person write a news article from it. So I'm not supposed to, the AP said, we'll let you use it, but if a person uses ChatGPT to write a news article that competes with us, no, you're not supposed to allow that. Yeah. It's really, really fuzzy right now. All this information.
Technical parts of AI. And what I wanted to make sure for people is when you're using AI, it's an easy way to write articles. And what you're trying to do today for SEO is write articles, get them into your site, make it conversational text. You're going to edit whatever that you write in there and make sure that it is correct information. But that is a whole lot easier than all of the SEO stuff that you've had to go through for all these years, because it's been a technical nightmare for everybody. Maury, go ahead. There, I hit the button. Go ahead.
If you go into ChatGPT and you pick a no topic and try and get it to write, I've tried it with death, and it'll say I can't write for that. I'm restricted. So I can see restrictions coming in the filters placed upon certain data that anyone that tries to write it to even resemble a news article, it'll probably come back and say, sorry, I can't give you that.
And that's true too. I don't know that anybody here has a website or a business where you're writing news articles, but I think that we're just the average public and have our own websites, and we're doing a product or service. We're not interested in trying to compete with other writers. That gets into a situation where I thought, you guys have to worry about that. The general populace has got their website and trying to figure out, I just don't have the the mindset to sit down and write new articles. Great. Go do it with AI. You just need to edit that article. It's a lot easier to edit text and to make it sound like it's conversational text than it is to try to figure out what's the density of my keywords on this page. What should I put the H1 tag around? Do I have the meta information? It's like, that's just the cursory part of technical SEO. So do the articles first. And if you need help saying, okay, I've done it and I have stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3. If you need some help on what do you think of these? Do you think that that's something? Is there something I'm missing? Get in touch. We can go by and go through the stuff and take a look at it. So there's consulting that we can help you with, Arthur or myself, and that'll help you decide. But that's still a lot easier, a lot less time consuming than try to figure out all the technology of SEO. And everybody's always trying to figure out a way, what other technical stuff, what other technical tricks of SEO can I use to get above my competition? Write those articles. And if you look at your competition, the chances are they haven't done this. So you're getting newest information as we can give it to you. That means you should be able to get up over your competition pretty quickly. So look at your competition. Do they have the 3 stages of the buyer's journey? If not, you put yours in, and it's going to take a while because Google has even slowed down how often they're crawling websites. It's about the most technical thing I'm telling you today. It's not necessarily something that you need to know technically to be able to get to the top of the search engines. You can compete now. I would say this is as level a playing field with these new changes that Google has made since roughly between 2000 and 2004. So in 20 years, you haven't had a playing field level as well as it is today. You have the option, you have the know-how, because you just go to AI, pick one. It's like if you had somebody write an article for you and you thought, that's fine. If you had somebody write an article for you, would you just blindly put it into your site? Or would you say, I need to edit it, I need to look at it? I don't care if that person's worked for you for 3 or 5 or 10 years. You're the owner of that site. And if people come and they're reading something, you want to make sure that it's what those people want. And in this case, Google is the one looking out and saying it needs to be for each stage. So if you try to combine those pages, that's going to kill it. Don't try to combine the stages. That said, you can link to the next stage. You can have a call to action for the next stage. But you're not going to discuss the next stage on whatever stage they are reading. You're not going to offer them a pop-up of a 30% discount when they're on stage 1 looking for information. That is a sure way to just say, go away. Have your pop-up come in the purchase page. Hey, 30% off today. Okay, that matches that page. And how can AI help with my limo service? AI is going to think of what you do, and you're going to start with a stage 1, stage 2. Stage 3, I'm guessing, is going to, well, I don't know. Do you have on your site, Jody, a method for people to schedule or to buy something?
I know I don't allow people to book reservations online. I want to talk to all my clients to make sure I'm meeting their specific needs. And sometimes that's kind of a gray area when they're asking questions. They'll ask me something very vague, which is not a yes or a no, or I want to rent a limo. Can you give me a price? Well, I mean, do you
Yeah.
want, so most of my, well, 100% of all my clients, I end up speaking to them on the phone at some point before I book.
So you have stage 1 and stage 2 articles. That's what you need.
And I
Stage
do have a
2,
rates page, but ultimately the people have to call me to finalize everything. So
that's correct. So stage 2 would be basically stage 2, 3, because your call to action on that stage 2 page is going to say call for
Okay.
additional information.
okay,
And they're obviously, they're going to go through pages going, well, maybe there's a pricing someplace. Nope, you just don't have it. You just told them, and you've said it several different places, call for additional information. But you don't allude to it anything more than that on your stage 1, stage 2 pages.
oh, okay.
Pick a topic,
It's page.
like the prom. What is a prom?
Okay, good.
And how do you interact with it? And those are the kinds of things that you would look up as far as keywords or search terms that people are searching in your area. What do people search for in your area that are related to your business?
Right.
Do they say, how do you get a limo for the prom? Or where do I find a limo for the prom? Or whatever those terms are, that's where you're going to begin. That's your stage 1. Where do you find a limo in Shasta for the prom?
Okay.
Great. That's one page,
Okay.
one awareness stage, and one article. So you can write about here. This is what you're looking for. This is all that information. If you kind of whip through it and go, well, you just give us a call. No, you went right to stage 3. That's not what they want. They want to know information first.
Okay, right.
And then you go to stage 2 to say you could get this package or that package.
Okay.
Kind of discuss it. We've got packages. We've got this. We've got that. This is what a limo service does in this area for the prom.
Okay.
So it's just an example, but look up the search terms that people are using in Google for services that are related to yours.
Okay.
So that's a lot easier than just trying to say, look up a keyword term and figure out how to write an article. This way, you can go to AI and say, okay, now I have my search term, and you can say, write an article for this keyword term, and it's about the awareness stage.
Does the article go inside of my web page, or does that go into Google, or where do you put the articles?
Just like another article in your site.
Okay.
So it's in your website, yes. And again, going back to, if you've got pages that you've got some activity and you don't want to disturb them, that's fine. You're creating new pages in your website.
Okay.
Make sure that you link to them. They're in the menu. Make sure that they are linked to the other pages. But in other words, stage 1 is linked to stage 2.
Okay.
So that Google understands, okay, we see that. And Google, the bots will also find the call to action and what you're telling people to do instead of having a stage 3.
Okay. Makes sense.
Okay, Dolores, you had your hand up. Got to hit your unmute button. There you go.
Okay, yeah, it didn't work first time. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate your time. I do have a question. I have a service business, and when it gets to the purchase page, I guess similar, instead of, could I put my calendar there so they can book an appointment
Sure.
as the purchase page?
Sure.
Does that make sense?
That's up to you how you have people purchasing on your stage 3. Do they schedule something or other? Do they buy something or other? Or do they call? And if they're going to call, that means they stopped at stage 2. And because the next step is call now. So if you're saying something, definitely you need that page 3. And that needs to have the information for stage 3. Yeah. And then yours in particular is going to have the calendar, the schedule, so people can just click on that and type in their information, and they schedule an appointment or whatever it is you're going to do.
Right. I mean, like Jody, I do prefer to talk to all of my clients first, but if they schedule an appointment, I can always call and, hone down in on the service that they really need.
Correct. So you're making sure that it's mandatory that they give you a telephone number. Name, telephone number, email
Right.
address.
Email
good to
address.
go.
Correct.
Right.
And I heard you say all these pages actually go into your website, not onto Google Business, right? You
Correct.
just link it to your Google Business.
But you can have articles written in Google Business Profile and link to your website. But the specific thing about you're trying to get the traffic to your website, so you need these 3 stages of the buyer journey in your website.
You need it in your website linked back to the Google page.
And yes, you can link back and
Google
forth to
Business.
either of them, but the main part is making sure that you've got these 3 stages for one topic. And you've got that in your website. So like I said, if you've got 5 different topics, then you have 15 pages that you need to add.
Okay.
And then that gets down to you, whether you want to have the 3 stages for each topic, or if you just want to do it for one, that's completely up to you. If you want a chance that you can get 1 page into the top of the search engines, that's up to you. If you want a chance that you get 15 pages into the top of the search engine, now that's, broadening your horizon, but that's still, it's up to you. You're not going to get dinged if you don't have all the pages for each topic done. So you can start with 1. It's going to be better if you have all of them, but that's completely up to you.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Antoine, you had a question. Go ahead.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Okay. So I have a web page, but I have all my products for BC listed out on the website.
Hang on a second. You got kind of muffled there.
Okay.
Go ahead.
What about now?
Yeah,
What about now?
There you go. That's good.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I have a web page, but it lists out a lot of products. So I'm just trying to figure out how I can better align these, based on these 3 concepts, because I have a lot of products listed. And then my second question is that when you make these changes, do you have to touch your Google business page profile as well?
No, you don't have to. It's always good to keep your profile updated and linking to, especially new pages, but that's completely up to you. That's just another thing that you can do. The main thing that Google's looking for is that whatever you are trying to sell or services, products, whatever it is, they want to see those 3 stages, because you, as a visitor to somebody else's website, all of you folks need to remember this. When you go to a website, you're looking for, and that's the question that you have to answer. Are you in stage 1? Are you in stage 2? Or are you in stage 3? If you're in stage 3 about a particular product, then you're going to a website and you expect to find that product and be able to buy it. You got your credit card in hand. But if you're in stage 1, you're just looking for information, and that's the only thing that you want. So that page needs to be just information about that one product or service. You said that you have a bunch of services. So you could have the 3 additional pages per product, but that's up to you. If you just want to do it for one product, okay. Again, if you have multiple products, multiple services, I would recommend that you do it for each of the products and services. You don't have to do them all at the same time, but over time, keep adding more. Google loves big websites. So if you have 500 pages in your website, that's great. Google loves those. Just make sure that you are addressing the specific stage of the journey. Did that answer everything for you there, Antoine? I noticed you hit the mute again.
Yeah, I hit the mute side here, but yeah, they did answer.
Any other questions?
That's it for me.
Good for you. Okay. Anybody else have questions? We got a lot of new faces. I'm expecting. Oh, Jody has a question. She doesn't know how to use the icon though.
I know, you think I'd learn by now, right? By the way, I don't see you, but I know you're there. So I think, and I know, I'm gonna say a bad word. I know you don't like the GoDaddy platform, which you know that's, I just swore at you again, Tom. I'm so sorry. But I think they limit the number of pages that you can do. Can you have, for lack of a better term, multiple articles on one web page and just have maybe multiple keywords for that?
No.
Like, in other words, you know, like prom specials or birthday party, that can't all be lumped into one. Okay. Because
No.
I think you're limited to the number of pages that you can have through GoDaddy.
That's the first, well, I guess depends on the kind of package that you have.
That's probably true too. Okay, they probably have an upgraded one.
Because I would be aghast if somebody told me you can only have 5 pages. Excuse me?
I think I have 7 or something, but yeah, okay. I'll get a hold and find out. I'm not sure.
Do you have a input on that, Arthur? You heard that they limit the number of pages?
Arthur, did you run?
You want as many pages as you can get out there.
Right.
Yeah,
But
I
she's
mean,
saying GoDaddy's limited.
The
the site.
pages, that's my understanding.
I don't think GoDaddy has a limit, but I know that you have to upgrade for certain things for it.
Okay, I'll check into it.
Yeah, if it's a build-a-page, that might be a limit. But generally speaking, whoever you're hosting with, they should not have limits on how many pages you can have.
Okay, I'll double check that. Thanks,
I
Tom.
don't believe
Thanks.
Sure.
Yeah,
Thanks, Arthur.
yeah. You want to build pages and posts around your products and services. You know, so you could write a blog post about a particular service based on a typical, specific subject. And then that way you can link your pages and posts to your products
Okay,
and services.
so like Tom was saying, like prom, have a page that kind of talks about prom and can
Right.
paint that picture of what that looks like for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Step
Yeah.
into that activity or into that emotion of having that experience.
Exactly.
Okay, I get it. Okay. I'm an emotional girl. I'll figure it out.
Well, then you're going to be good with whatever spits out of the AI because
All
you'll
the
look at it and
tears,
go,
all
no,
the
I need to put more of me into that. And that's fine.
The more authoritative the content is and fact-based, the
Okay,
better it's going to rank, because that's the direction that Google is going.
okay,
They want authority, reputation.
okay.
I can't think of the 4 sections right now, but it's called EEAT. And if you Google that, you will
What
get
is
a
it, Arthur?
breakdown. I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, thanks.
It's not a typical algorithm at this point, but it is a direction that Google is going for semantic search. They want it to be fact-based, authoritative.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, just Google it and you'll be able to,
Oh.
it'll give you the breakdown.
That just made me hungry, Arthur. Thank you.
Eat with an extra E.
Eat.
Yeah, eat.
Yeah, they added the extra E.
Okay, thank you,
And-
Arthur, for that. I'll check that out.
And here recently, Google just had an update in August, and there are sites that I manage that I have, seen traffic or I'll say impressions has actually dropped since that update.
Oh,
on
wow.
Some sites, while other sites have increased in impressions. And the sites that are more about me, kind of like, like story brand type sites and stuff like that, it's having an effect on them.
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, from what I'm seeing, I'm just
People want to know what you can do for them. They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
right. They want to see fact-based authority. I mean, if you can link out to
I agree.
some of the facts that you're stating, to
Right.
high authority website,
Right.
that will help.
What about actually using testimonials from clients on that page too, that actually experience that will allow us to use that content?
As long as
Well, you
it's
can-
relevant to that page.
That's what I mean.
Right.
Like my daughter had her prom, whatever their experience was within
Right.
that service. Okay. 'Cause
Yeah,
I
we had an awesome time from these guys when we did our prom, and that's on that one page about prom.
Okay,
Yeah.
makes
Yeah,
sense.
you could quote it and then link to it, and that will, that will help. I mean, as long as you're giving credit.
Right.
Yeah.
To the to the people. Right.
Yeah. You don't want to copy the whole post, and paste it. You could just refer to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like an excerpt kind of a thing, just don't take it out of context. Okay. Gotcha. And actually, most of mine are handwritten thank you notes, which I've scanned in. I could actually put those actually on there as a photo,
Yep.
thumbnail or something. I don't know. But anyway.
Put
Okay.
it as a picture or whatever you want to do. You can retype it. So
Yeah.
you've got that information.
Okay.
The main thing that Google is trying to get across to everybody with a website is you claim that you're an expert in your field, whatever you're selling, whatever you're doing. If you are that expert, this should not be difficult. But Google is saying, so prove it. The pages that you are supposed to be writing prove that you are an expert in that field. And that's when it comes down to, yes, you could write an article without AI, but even if you would prefer to write it yourself, I would go to the AI, make sure that you ask it several different ways about the topic and see what it spits out. If you only want to use 25% of what it spits out because you've written something that you feel is better, be careful with it, because you want to make sure that you stay on that one topic and you stay in that one stage of the journey. So don't elude to, and if you happen to want to buy today, that's not part of stage one.
Right.
Not here to buy.
Right.
And I would bet that there are more questions. There's a lot of new people here today, so feel free to ask. There are no stupid questions. Except the ones that
Don't ask.
Except the ones that Kevin asked. Kevin's not here. Uh-oh, here he comes. He's back now. Kevin, did you want to ask a question? Not now. Okay. All right. So who else has questions? I know you folks do. This is much easier than typical SEO, but whatever difficulties there are with it, I believe that you will know what you need to do in order to understand and to pass through it. Unlike typical SEO stuff, you're going, I have no flip and flap an idea. I got to call somebody, or I have to hire somebody to at least give me information. This is pretty straightforward. Google's looking for you to show that you can sell. If you've got this website up, you're trying to sell something, so you have to prove that you can close. Writing the articles, providing the information, providing the comparisons, and then the purchase stage. You have all that. You have it in your head even. So it's a matter of getting that out. But that's where Google is today. Oh, you want me to unmute you, Kevin? Figured you had something to say.
No, I was just warning you that you don't want to unmute me now.
Oh, okay, I can take care of that. So, folks, I'm sure you have more questions, and I want you to make sure that you're trying to understand that this is easier. And Jody was saying something about sales. Arthur and I, by no stretch of the imagination, consider ourselves salespeople.
Right.
Sales.
I agree.
But it's not like you need to be a salesperson. But yet, if you're at a stage 1, stage 2 kind of website, so you have people calling you, you are. It's not like you're trying to be a salesperson, but it's because you know your business and you can talk about your business without a sales pitch.
Right.
And you will do that in your editing of the articles as well. No sales pitch. You're just telling them, and speak from the heart.
Right. I do.
That's what people are looking for. They want to know real information from real people who know what that business is that they're trying to research.
Now, I was just saying for analytical purposes, Tom, that Google can't track my sales in my case, since all mine are done over the phone or one-on-one face-to-face. So from an analytical standpoint, there's no way for them to track that.
Yes and no. Because you do have people calling, you can have the page where you said you've got a call to action, say call now.
Okay.
That would be your stage where, what am I trying to say? The completion of your sale.
Okay.
So your analytics would show, yeah, they completed the sale. They went there and they did that.
Okay.
So
Yeah, you could set up in your
Conversion.
Google business profile tracks your calls.
Okay.
And you should get a report from that. And you can actually set up conversions on Google
okay.
Analytics
Okay.
for when somebody clicks a button. So if you have on your website, if you have a call now button and they click on it, you could track it that way.
Okay. That's what I was wanting to know. Thank you, Arthur.
Yeah, you just have to set up a conversion for that particular button.
I got to set it up. Okay. Gotcha.
56 into the meeting, and that was the most technical thing that we've talked about. That's how simple SEO is becoming today. I didn't even want to touch on anything technical because it is so much out of the technical part that you should be able to figure out everything that you need to do. But like I say, if you do need some help, get in touch with Arthur or myself. We're always around. Yes, Kevin. You want to yell at me?
In time. Okay, so jumping back to that last question about Google, it would be able to track the call. Well, how would Google know the outcome?
They don't. Your conversion says it's completed. The sale is completed by clicking on that call now button. That's up to you whether they actually did make the sale.
Okay, so it won't actually be able to track the sales
It can,
unless you have a sales, shopping cart type scenario.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, if you have something on your website that you tell the client that they have to fill out to complete the sale, then you can track that.
Okay.
So unless they're actually completing everything on the site, the most you can do is show a conversion on the call now button. But at least you can track that, okay, I've had this many leads come. So if you've got 0 sales for the month, but you had 15 people who called, they clicked on that button and you converted 15, then you're going to have to go back and learn some sales closing techniques. Maury?
Yes, sir.
Keep that in
Yeah.
mind. We're going to get you some new business on closing. People,
He's just picking on me because
the hardest thing for what you're going to be doing now with this new algorithm and the buyer's journey is closing the sale. If they're calling, you've got to know that you're closing the sale yourself. It's up to you. Of course, if you've been doing this, that's always the way that you've done your business. So those of us who do know the business, somebody gets me talking about the business, yeah, they're interested.
Yeah.
They want to know, and they keep going because you guys know me. I'll talk till the cows come home.
Yeah, the bottom line is if you got 15 conversions and people have contacted and you have 0 sales, then you need to brush up on your sales skills.
Yeah.
Because your website is doing what it's supposed to do, but it's up to you to make the sale.
Tom, you want to unmute? Coach?
Yeah, I'm looking at that
Yeah.
on Coach. See if I can find Coach here on my screen. Where did he go? 2 pages of faces. So I'm trying to find. Oh, there you are right there. Hello. I guess because I saw this nice female face, I was looking for a rough looking coach. I forgot. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have, I'm a life coach, and I do a few other things. So I've been looking to really dig into my website and change some things and all that stuff. I did Google search and optimizations and all that stuff, and I'm just kind of like not really where I need to be. And so I'm trying to redo it and things, but I do have, you're not on my site, you're not going to do a purchase. It's a sign up or call me. So I do have that type of call to action. So with that, if someone hits the link to call my number, I don't even know if that, how would I set that up? Because I have my phone number posted, but for the most part, it's schedule a meeting with me. But from what I'm hearing is that I should somehow or another set up my 800 number to be able to at least Google can say, well, at least they called me. Is that what I need to do?
In your Google Analytics, trying not to get too technical, but through your Google Analytics, you would set up a conversion. Now, Google usually feels that that is a sale. So in other words, they went to a shopping cart and they put something in their cart and they bought it. That's a completed sale. So you would show the thank you page as your conversion. Yours would be, they're going to click a button to call now, or they're going to do something on this page. They're clicking that. That's what you would set up as your conversion.
Okay.
So whether it's an 866 number, it doesn't make any difference. You're saying they're going to click that button. They're going to click here.
All right, and that button that they will actually click, because I can make it on their phone. Now my head is going, you had to apologize. I mean, I have to apologize when I hear something, I'm thinking 599 million things one time. So the way I could have that done is, because I know on some websites, especially on my phone, you can click it and it automatically dials. So with my web developer, I would have to, but it would be 2 different things, because you get it on your laptop or computer, but on your phone, you click on my website and that link, it would automatically dial. So that would be 2 different things that I could set on my website.
The developer would be able, it would be the same thing.
It would be the same thing, even though they wouldn't necessarily call from a laptop computer.
Yeah, because you're not using any technical stuff in the website. You have that page already set up. You're going to your Google Analytics and say, when they get to, and that's for you to decide, when they get to what on this page and what on that page. That is what you consider a conversion.
Okay.
Yeah, you're using WordPress, correct?
No, it's I don't know. It's a company called UNI. They're on
Uni.
Uni.
Uni could set that up for you.
Okay.
Yeah, just I mean, they're a pretty big company, and they do all kinds of tracking. And I'm sure all you have to do is call support and tell them that you want to track that, and they'll set it up for you, I'm sure.
Okay, yeah, because I reached out to them about me trying to go in there and make some changes on my site. They're the ones that set it up in the first place. And I think I was on a call with one of you two before and said how we did that that analytical thing and how I scored real low. I'm like, well, they're the ones that set up the site. But I see I have to be the puppeteer in a sense and say, do this and do this and do this, instruct them what to do in order to give me the results that I want.
Yep, that's the problem with using a proprietary product. I mean, if you have your self-hosting WordPress, you wouldn't have to deal with that.
Good to know. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions before we go? I see a couple people have dropped off, even Donald Tack. I have to go. My cat is having kittens in the next room.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's a good reason.
So if you're having kittens in the next room, I guess you guys better go.
Not sure what he's gonna do, but
Yeah, stand back and watch. Although I wouldn't want to. Let the cat take care of that. Send Jody in after him. Well, there you go, folks. I hope that everybody sees now that it's a lot less complicated to get your site into the top of the search engines than it used to be. And there you go. We're going to end it here, and I'll put this video into the in with the rest of them in the next day or so. So thanks for joining us today, folks. I'll see you next week.
Thomas, you got a question about the recordings? I know you share
Yes.
them all, so yeah.
You have a question about them?
Somebody's posted a question asking if you share. I know you do share them all.
Oh, yes. Yes. All the recordings go up into YouTube / at SEO-Tom. Right here.